So it's actually really nice out today. This is the first day that we've had it. It's just like no clouds in the sky since summer. It's ridiculous. So I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I'm using right now to shoot this. Now this is actually the JVC camcorder that I've had, and I was amazed. I had this thing sitting on the shelf for like 4 months, forgot to charge it up, thinking, oh crap, I need to use that today so I have something to record on to show you guys because I'm not going to be able to use my phone for this. And it still had like half battery charge in it. So that's insane. Like, JVC makes a really good camcorder. So anyways, I've been using this, the Monoprice tripod, and this thing is, you know, pretty solid, standard camera mount. But then for phones and stuff, I, as you guys know, a little bit too close, I put it too far away. I've had problems with clips, phone clips breaking, especially the ones with the springs, because I just use them like all the freaking time. And so I got one of these. I don't know how you say this. Ulanzi, I don't know, U-L, or is it V? Could be a V, could be a U. I don't know. I found it on, it's the ST-03. I found it on Amazon. So this thing is completely aluminum, I'm guessing is what it is. It's not really like a steel. But the nice thing about it is two things. It collapses nice and flat like this. And you just fold it out. And the other thing I wanted was something that had a screw on it instead of a spring, because this is going to hold the phone more secure and it's not going to shake as easy. So having that stationary area there, the optical stabilization can work much better. So yeah, this is awesome. The other cool thing about this, incidentally, is they kind of put like these two grooves on the top. So if you got anything that mounts with a hot or cold shoe, you can just throw it on there and then you're good to go. Okay, so this particular one, let me take the cover off first. Okay, so this particular one is a 50 LED array. And focus in on that, there you go. And it gets pretty bright actually. So there we go, lights on. And it's got 8 stages. So that's the brightest it can get. And then the thing I found out is if you hold down or up on the buttons, it'll actually kind of like soft dim. And sometimes that can come in handy depending on what type of creativity you want to do. This is also nice if you're like lighting objects or something. You would do like an effect where like light sweeps by. It being so small and in this size, you can do stuff like that. And you can do it with like the dim to kind of make it like a little bit more artistic, I guess. And then on the back, does have a battery indicator and it is rechargeable, so it just uses a micro USB. There's a 1000 milliwatt milliwatt amp hour battery in this, and they claim something stupid like 18 hours. That's if you're on the lowest setting. If you're using the highest, you're gonna get about an hour, and that's just, but it doesn't take much more than like, you know, an hour or two to recharge. So for me, it's more than enough. The other cool thing about it is it has filters that came with it. So for instance, you got this guy here. Well, you want to soften that, you just put this hard plastic filter on there. And it also has a STB and an STO. So this is a blue and orange filter if you want to make things look a little bit warmer or cooler or whatnot. Also in the box, it came with its own clip for a cell phone, which is kind of nifty. This hot shoe mount you saw earlier is actually one that came with the light. It is metal on the bottom, so I would suggest is if you're using this, put some electrical tape if you're putting it in a hot shoe. If it's in a cold shoe, you're fine. And it also came with this mount here. So the idea is you put your cell phone on your tripod. It's got threads all around it. And then you put this on the top. And then you thread with this on the top, you thread your light in. And then you try to get the ring to rethread, which it doesn't want to do right now because I was stupid and threaded it all the way down. There we go. And then there you go. You got kind of a makeshift light set up for your phone, which is great. Your iPhone or whatever you want to use. And like I said, it's rechargeable. A lot of these have just like AAA batteries in them. which is fine, but if you don't want to be constantly looking for new AAA batteries or get rechargeables or something like this already has it. So $10 more, I would just go for the rechargeable built in already. I hate to say it, but these are kind of, in a way, throwaway items. You use them for like a year or two, and then you get a new one, you know. So that's kind of the way I feel about it anyways. And then, of course, that's in conjunction. Alright, so I can see that this camera is down to 1 bar already. Gotta say, for not charging it for 4 months, I'm really impressed with how long that JVC camcorder held its battery charge. So we're going to switch over to my phone in 3, 2... Alright, there you go. And now we're on the cell phone. Or smartphone. I'm old. Don't usually get days this clear outside or this sunny. So I'm going to head down the road and see if I can get a clear view of the mountain. Almost never do. Okay guys, got a pretty good view of the mountain now. It's going to be a little bit hard because the sun's directly over it, but I'll try my best to get a shot of it, and I'll put a telephoto on so you guys could probably see it a little bit better. And of course, no day is complete without taking the cat for a walk. Well, I just came back here and realized that there is a new down tree. You can see it came right off the stump and went forward a little bit. And now he's laying up in between this tree that kind of veed off. I think he went right down there and he's just kind of sitting. So this is going to have to get cut just for safety purposes. So, news to me. I heard a thump like a month ago, and maybe this was it. There's a pretty loud thump in the house, so... Come on down. So it's laundry day, and this is why. Because I'm wearing this shirt, and it's like, this is almost like I could, it's the same opening hole as on the bottom of the shirt. It's weird. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the YouTube, Casey Neistat and Robert Kyncl, I think is how you say it, his name. He's the business executive or whatever at YouTube. Basically makes all decisions on what happens to everybody. I watched this interview this morning, and it was interesting. I learned a few things. One of them being that it was interesting that he said that the advertisers that advertise on YouTube's or Google's AdSense stuff are complaining just as much that we're being protected by YouTube. So that was pretty interesting to me. Other than that, I found out a few things about the way YouTube's run, and not all of them I'm so happy about. One of them being is it felt like they're handling YouTube too much with kids gloves, essentially. When the Logan Paul thing happened with the first time with the suicide forest, it sounded to me like because he employs a lot of people, they didn't want to take any action there because those people didn't have problems and stuff like that. Here's kind of my 2 cents on this. When you start using the platform at any level, there's certain terms of service, okay? And you violate those terms of service, and you're up for any kind of punishment anybody could offer. Now, I would have just done something like maybe demonetize him for a month, you know? If he's a smart YouTuber like anybody else, he would have had enough money in the bank to cover any costs he needed to for a month. He's well established already, but That's what I would have done. And that's coming from my point of view. When I run Twitch streams or anything else like that, and I'm moderating them, there's certain acts like, say, like racism, stuff like that. That's instant ban, okay? You can't have kids' gloves on, because as soon as you do, as soon as somebody draws blood in the water and they see that you're not doing anything about it, everybody else comes out of the woodwork just like crazy. And that's what happened to YouTube this time. They didn't really do much of anything. They took him off the preferred channels list. But then he did it again, and then they had to finally suspend him because he saw what YouTube was willing to do, and he didn't take him seriously. And so that's what happened. If they'd done that the first time, there wouldn't have been a second time, essentially. So that was kind of my opinion on the whole Paul Logan thing. As far as what they did with newer creators, limiting them to monetization until they hit like 1,000 subs or 4,000 watched hours and total watched hours and stuff like that, I understand where they're coming from. I'm perfectly okay with that. They feel that that's enough buffer for the service to get to know them and stuff like that. So sure, if they got something in place where there's like a certain amount of time for them to get to know you and your channel, that's great. I didn't really get an answer about what they intend to do about creators that aren't being toxic or something like that. I have a few friends that are pretty successful on YouTube, and in a way it kind of saddens me that they have to work 70 to 80 hours a week to stay relevant on the platform. I think that sucks. I think it would be better if YouTube would kind of help them out. Recognize that they're doing good content, recognize they're not doing anything wrong, recognize that some of their videos where they've not done anything terrible, they get demonetized by the bot, and they have to wait days for they get, monetization back sometimes. I think that's all bad rap, and I think there should be a sort of like, I don't know, like a pre-check system or something like that, sort of like TSA does for boarding flights, that YouTubers can go through. People can monitor their channel for like a week or two, get to know the channel, get to know the person, and basically say like, yeah, I don't think this person's going to ever cross that line. You never know. It happened with Logan Paul, and I'm somebody that enjoys shock humor myself. That's what I do a lot when I Twitch stream and stuff like that. But there's a line. There's a line that you just don't cross. And I think that line's, at least for me, it seems pretty clear. I don't understand why it wouldn't be clear for anybody else. So doubling back on that, it's a shame. It feels like they really need to get somebody hired in there that has been a content creator or currently is a pretty big content creator on YouTube. And I think that would help their outlook a little bit better on how to handle these situations, because that feels to me like what the major problem is at YouTube right now. And the fact that they're just not vocal with their community. They're not at all. So this was the first time I ever saw anything like that, and it felt, in a way, watching Robert trying to articulate what, he thought about the platform was, he's not very well practiced at it, is what I should say. So yeah, it was an interesting interview. It was a little disappointing in some ways. But at the end of the day, and then Casey asked him what YouTube meant to him. And one of the things I'm going to bring up right now is he said freedom of speech. That's great, but you're a platform. You don't necessarily, when you have a terms of service, there's things that you can say there. Like, that you don't have to necessarily 100% adhere to that. And I think maybe you're giving people a little bit too much freedom in some ways, if that makes any sense. And my other question to that is, okay, then why is people that are cursing and stuff on YouTube being demonetized? Okay, that would be kind of my shot right back at them as far as that goes. So I don't know. It's a little disheartening. Like I said, I think they could use some help from somebody that's a content creator or a couple of content creators, and at least communicate with those content creators back and forth about the platform a little bit more often. As far as the new Twitch rules go, it sucks that they're going to be going to Twitter and all that stuff, and if you're out of line on Twitter, that they'll suspend your account. I'm not too worried about it. The rules, I read them all, and it just basically comes down to don't be a shithead. So I'm okay with it, because, like I said, I like shock value every once in a while. I see some things that are kind of shocking on my streams, but, you know, in no way do I ever put out there in any kind of way that I'm, like, condone, like, racism or anything like that. You know, we may make fun of, like, certain different things or whatnot, but we don't ever outright say that it's wrong or anything like that. So I don't understand. Oh man, I burped because I've been drinking this stuff to wet my whistle. But yeah, that's basically what it comes down to, is just don't be a shithead and you'll be fine. So yeah, it should be common sense, but I guess it's not, so that's why we have to make rules out of it. Well, my one light just went out, so I guess that means I'm done. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, do a thumbs up. The best thing you can do for me in any of these is share it with people, like, honestly. Sharing gets the word out. I care about that more than a thumbs up, thumbs down, or anything like that. And that goes for DeepTube as well. If you share it, it's worth more to me than just, like, thumbing up. That sounds dirty in a way, almost like you're thumbing something. Anyways, yeah, I'll have another video up soon, guys. Have a good one, and bye.